Hey guys, what's crack-a-lackin'? Hope everybody's doing good. Somebody give me a 5 for 5, and we will roll right into it. Alright. If I get a 5 for 5, I'll keep on moving, but until then, I'll say hi. Hey, V, hey, what's up, Christian? Good to see ya. Hey, Aaliyah. Miss Hermit, Nikki, Karen, Surgery, what's up? Mark, what's going on? Vicky. I said hi to you already. Nikki, Steven, Joyce, George, Daniel, Mama Sat, what's up? Aaliyah, my sister. My mod sister. Heck yeah. What's up, Kim? Good to see you. Nikki, Mark Matheny, what's up? Jonathan. Sorry, we 5 for 5. All right. Hey, Angel, holding it down in the Bronx. Trinity, go check out all those guys' channels, guys. Mods, feel free to drop your link anytime you want. So, all right, guys, let's just dig into this. Yeah, we got a pretty big sunspot here. You guys see that thing? So what are you guys looking at there? You guys are looking at SDO, and you know what? I do this every time, and I don't know why. I just hate it when I forget to do this. But also, guys, I've been having some, internet issues, and it's not just me. So I don't know what's going on with all that. I don't think it's from any kind of flaring or anything like that, at least not the past couple days, because we really haven't had too much like massive stuff going on, but we're still having some, at least I know I am, and other people are that I've talked to also, so just kind of lagging. I was watching Netflix yesterday and then actually stopped I had to like reboot and like 2 or 3 different times, so that stuff's going on. It's not just, don't think it's just you if that's happening to you. And I'm in Eastern Standard Time, so that's my location, and I'm hearing it from people on the West Coast. So I know it's not a localized thing. This is, and I guess we could dig into the carriers and all that kind of stuff, all the companies, but it's not a huge deal right now, is what I'm saying. But seems like we're having some internet issues. But as we got SDO, this is the satellite we're looking from. Okay, this stays in geosynchronistic orbit, this figure 8 pattern. Always over this part of our planet, and it rotates to keep its eye on the sun at all times. Just like the Lord of the Ring big eye. Okay, it's always looking for the sun, right? The sun is that ring. So, and it's always beaming its data back down to White Sands here. So that's why that's there. So if you guys want to know where this satellite's at, it is from our perspective. It's as if you went outside and looked up. Now that would be from, well, you could say even from the other side of the planet, but technically no, because obviously it stays on this side of the planet. But as far as purposes that I'm showing you, you can really kind of apply it to the globe. So, all right, so let's go back over here. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll just run down through this real quick. We almost had a geomagnetic storm. Okay. I think I might have mentioned it, but we had from that filament eruption. They were forecasting a G1. Well, it did hit. We just did not get into storm level. So you're looking at geomagnetic activity right there. Oh, and before I forget, guys, please hit the like, share, and subscribe. Please share this out as much as you can. That's just, it's awesome when you guys do that. My super chats are on too, but I am still waiting on a couple things to get my membership started up. So just so you guys know, I haven't forgot that. I'm working on that, and there's a couple more things I need to get lined out on that. That's why I haven't, made those live yet. But my super chat's open, and that's all I'll say about that. You don't have to. It's not ever, don't feel like you're obligated. That's all I'm saying. But it is appreciated when you guys do. So it does help me a lot more than what people what you could think. All right, now, we had an M-class flare yesterday. I was waiting to see if that was going to send any kind of CME. This sunspot that we're talking about that's causing these flares right in front of us has yet to produce a CME. That, in my opinion, is kind of rare. We got a sunspot that has continually fired off M-class and 3 X-class flares. One of them, the biggest of the sun cycle in years, since 2017. And it did not produce a CME. Now, some might call us lucky. I don't know. I don't think that CME from an X6 class flare would knock our power. Hey, thanks, V. I appreciate you. Man, you guys are awesome. That's all I can say. Yeah, man. Thank you. I really appreciate you. And again, guys, I get embarrassed when that stuff happens, but I just know it's appreciated. Anyway, so we got these, this sunspot is just doing a little bit kind of odd things. I would have expected that thing to be flaring like crazy. Okay, this thing right here, this is that sunspot, and the thing of it is, and it has been flaring. I guess I should have specified there. It should have been producing CMEs at least at some level here. And again, it's just my opinion, right? I don't know what the rarity of that is, like as far as down to the minute, down to this day data. I don't have that, or how rare, or should we even expect these things to happen? And the reason why is because it's very stable. Even though it's growing, it has become a more stable sunspot, meaning that I explained to you guys it had like 3 to 4 different magnetic fields right here. So it means it had 8 poles, 8 positive, negative, right? 4 positive, negative, but 8 technical poles, 4 if you're talking about magnetic fields. That's what happened at one given time. But when those things start to intermingle, that's when you get the flaring. Well, it hasn't done that. It's actually spread out and it's kind of stabilized. And that's the reason it hasn't been flaring. So, I'm not going to get too much more into the details of that. But something else I found kind of odd. I was just looking at this. These other ones, these are sunspots too. That's like there's 4 sunspots longitudinally, almost vertical to one another, like straight up and down. I don't know that I've ever seen it do that. And again, does it mean anything? No, it's just an observation. Something I noticed. That's all it is. Hey, Linda, good to see you. So, but, if anybody has any information on why that would happen, 4 of them almost exactly on the same longitudinal line, up and down, transversing both hemispheres. And what's odd to me about it is you got very symmetrical distances in between them. Now this one to this one's a little bit longer than what's up here, but just kind of looking at it at a glance there, it really looks like it almost looks like a hole punch. You know what I mean? For a spiral notebook, that kind of thing. It just looks odd to me. If there's any kind of scientific reason anybody knows why that happens, let me know. I don't know. And maybe it's just something that just happened. Maybe, it's not like, it doesn't really mean anything. It's not like I'm saying, hey, this is a weird thing, we're all gonna walk outside, and if the sun hits you, you're gonna grow a third arm. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that you got sunspots here lining up straight, vertical. That's it. And I just never, it's just so symmetrical. And typically, guys, nature doesn't work in straight lines. It just typically doesn't. It does in certain times, but not like this, I wouldn't think. And again, I guess what I can say here is the chances of this happening, eventually something like this would happen just for the mere, happenstance. So, if there's a reason, if this happens for a reason and it happens more often than what I've seen, I sure as heck would like to know. I think it's cool. I think that kind of information is kind of cool. So let me take you guys back over here to SDO. And I'm going to take you to, you know what? Let's just do it this way. It's going to be easier. Do it this way here. Sorry about that, guys. Because my internet's been running really, really slow, as you can see how it's taking a minute here. It doesn't typically do that. Typically it's boom, it's there. But right now it's not like that. So, I'm sure you guys are experiencing similar things. But thanks again, Miss V. It really is appreciated. I can't say it enough. But while this loads, guys, you can see this thing. right? And here are those other 4 sunspots. It's not going to keep blinking like that. It's loading the movie clip, and sometimes it misses a couple frames. But even the size of these things are really similar. And the fact that it goes across the equatorial region of the sun is, yeah, it just seems odd to me. That's all. That's really all I'm saying. So let's go in a little bit further here. Let's take you guys here. Now, you guys can, I haven't shown you guys this one very much. And I probably should show this more often, because you do get kind of a good idea of how things are happening here. So if we zoom in here, you could fit 10 Earths across this. That's how big this sunspot is. And you can kind of see how this magnetogram is actually producing the image. You can kind of see where the cores are, and you see the energy kind of, radiating through, I guess, if you want to use it. But what that is basically magnetic connection lines. Some sort of magnetic connection there, and the plasma's moving. That's all that is, okay? But it does give us a different look, and it is very, very, very large, okay? So let me back that off. And again, guys, I have to point these out. It looks like this one here is growing also. So, and the reason why the main reason I'm showing you guys these 4 sunspots is, guys, when these are almost directly Earth facing. Now, I know they're not very big sunspots in size, but that has nothing to do with the kind of energy it can produce. Okay? So, if, like this one over here, how large this one is, and it's really not producing that many flares, right? And CMEs. It hasn't produced a flare well, at least a significant flare, in over a day. So what I'm saying is that this is very stable. If these start becoming unstable, now we have 4 different areas of the sun just because it's lining up longitudinally here, okay? When it gets here, that's right in front of us. So that means that we have more of a chance, in my opinion, of getting flares from that. If it does flare, it's going to hit us, right? And then any CME produced from these things has a really good chance of impacting us. So we're going to have to keep an eye, and again, guys, I remember showing you guys this image from the sun a couple videos back, and if you remember, we'll just go to the 171 here. If you remember, I was commenting on how bright that it was on this whole side of the sun behind the limb, behind the horizon of the sun here, okay? Remember me commenting on that? I'm sure some of you do, some of you might not. But I could tell we were going to be seeing some activity in the next couple days, at least stuff that there were going to be sunspots there, right? And sure enough, look at all 4 of these. That's why the whole limb of the sun was a lot more brighter, because you were spreading out the sunspots this direction. So what are we looking at here for people that don't know? This is extreme ultraviolet. This is the 171 part of our light spectrum. Okay? We can't see this with our naked eye. Our eyes cannot see this. Our eyes see very little of the light spectrum. I worked in a printing shop for over 20 years. Made Cool Whip bowls, Dannon yogurt bowls. I know a lot about UV light. I know a lot about how light works because, yeah, you have to know a lot when you're talking about printing, right? And when you're looking at like a food container bowl at the grocery store, for 25 or 20 years, every 8-ounce Cool Whip bowl that was produced anywhere came through my factory. And I put the print on it. Well, I helped put the print on it, whatever shift I was working. So remember that at Thanksgiving. So I'll say that. But when you're talking about light, especially in like stuff like that, it actually, the light, what your eye sees, the light will pass through that ink, hit the substrate, which is the bowl. Okay, because if you're printing on a white bowl, and then you go to a red, it changes the whole way that it looks. And here's why. Because it goes through the ink, hits the substrate, and bounces back out. You see what bounces back out. Okay? So, that's what you see. Now, if there's no substrate there, if it's just light flying by your eye, there's other ways to see things, but that's just one form of how we see things with our eyes. And I brought that all up because this is not the same, but it is the way that we look at things, right? We're able to use technology now to get around those kinds of things. And 171 is a part of the light spectrum we can't see, and they use 171 for a purpose. The purpose is it's a specific gas. So we need to know what we're looking at here, right? So we can look at other extreme ultraviolet, and we're going to here just for a second. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here on this one. But here's the 211, and they could have made this any color they wanted, okay? And I've said that a lot. Is this thing loading or not? Okay, there it goes. I'm telling you, internet is slow today. But, so yeah, they could have assigned that any color they wanted. Right? So this is just another gas. That's all you're looking at. But I also want, I'm showing you this for a reason. You got a coronal hole here. Right? That thing passed and it's actually rotating off now. That's a hole in the corona, and that the dark part is actually the surface of the sun. So what you actually see with your eyes is the corona. It's the gases, right? The black part, it's colder on the surface of the sun than what it is in the sun's atmosphere. That's a little bit of a trivial fact that a lot of people don't know. But if you've ever watched my channel for very long, you know that already. But plasma's flowing out of that hole. Okay, so it's shot at Earth. We're connected to the sun magnetically. So what's that mean? Well, what that means is, and let me, we're going to take a look at a different graph here real quick, or a different model. What that means is this. I'm going to back this off. Okay, so what you're looking at here, this is a CME tracker. This is NASA's Inland Spiral CME tracker model. And what on the left side, it is top down. This is side cut, okay? This is an orbital line stretched out in a straight line. Earth's the yellow ball, sun's in the middle, okay? Why do we need all three? So we know what direction things are going, okay? We can't just look top down, because if it's going that way, then we don't really have a orientation of north-south, right? So we use the side cut for north-south. And then you have a third axis here that you need to look at also. So if all three of these show a CME hitting, then that's, you can pretty much say, hey, we got a good chance of a CME hitting. But that coronal hole, if you notice, the density is brought up on this model by the colors. The more dense colors, they go from blue down here, if you look at my cursor, blue to green to yellow to red to purple, white, and black, right? You guys can see that. I probably shouldn't even need to explain that, but I just did. I wasn't trying to insult anybody like they don't know anything, but I just want to point that out. That's the colors that go there. And why I'm bringing this up, do you see how half of this is green and it's spiraling in? That's because of those coronal holes. Okay, so a lot of the coronal holes, that stuff's good. It takes roughly 3 days for that stuff to get here. Okay, so that's why you're seeing this model look like this. So the green stuff is just getting to us, and that's, it's not a big deal unless, we're getting hit with other things. This was another eruption. It's not going to hit us. I was watching that one for a proton radiation storm, because it does cross over that general area of our connection to the sun. All right. And it didn't produce a radiation storm. So there you have it. The dashed line is our connection to the sun. It's an interplanetary magnetic field line. So let me X out of that, and we'll go back here. Now, again, guys, when we connect to the sun on this side, we don't connect over here. At least not our interplanetary magnetic field line. All right? So that's why when things happen on this side of the sun, we pay more of attention. That's just what it is. So, now, let's, I guess I can scroll down here. Now, NASA's model, this is NOAA. This is the same model. And they don't have anything going on here. I'm just going to leave it at that. There's not much happening. So what we'll do is we will look at the Discover data, and I want to show you when this filament hit, okay? So let me bring up seeds also. And I'll show you the filament I'm talking about. Was it this one? Maybe it was the day before. We were expecting a filament hit. I can't remember what day that happened. It might have been... This is the day, I think. Let's see. It's an eruption off the right side. Maybe it's back another day. There it is. Okay, there on the right. So it happened on the 21st, and it hit yesterday. This filament did hit, okay? We took a glancing blow from it, and I'm going to show you how I know that. Okay, right here. You can time it out. Everything started jumping. This is the solar wind data, space weather, okay? See how we got the -6 quite a bit here? That's when that started to hit. We're at -6 right now as I'm talking to you. And we could be taking some sort of a magnetic hit right now, from most likely from a coronal hole. The coronal holes I was showing you guys a couple days ago. So everything started moving, right? And also I want to say thanks to Tamitha Scove. She answered one of my comments in the comment section under one of her videos. I remember a while back I was showing you guys this solar wind density data here. And we had one go from like 4 to 100 and then straight back down. That is a glitch. Okay, she explained it to me. I'm not going to go into detail why that does that. But she actually said some of her colleagues are working on fixing that part of the model, or at least trying to. So I really appreciate it when she takes the time to answer those kinds of things, because it helps me be better. So if you guys could go over and check her channel out, Tamitha Scove. She's in my featured channeled section. You guys want some free college? Go over there and explained in a way you can understand. Go check her out. Promise. You won't be sorry. But anyway, let's see here. So when that happened, I was wondering, because it really did jump. And some of the other models jumped too. Why? Because they were using the same data. So when the source of the data has a glitch, then everything that uses that data actually gets skewed. Okay? So we got to keep that in mind, you know. That is what it is. Yeah, yeah, guys, just kind of, I'm not sure if that was a mistake there in the chat. As long as people aren't being disrespectful, let them have whatever opinions they want, okay, guys? All right, as long as there's no name calling and anything like that. Oh, okay. See, I'm just going to stay out of it. You guys deal with what you got to deal with. I'm just getting bits and pieces of it here in the live chat. I trust you guys. I trust my mods. I'll just say that. So, but yeah, as long as they're not disrespecting, I mean, it's up. I guess I'll just leave it at that. I don't even know what the conversation was about. Sorry, guys. I don't usually go to the chat and do that. I trust my mods. So that's what I'll deal with there. And let me tell you something, guys. My mods can handle themselves too. So they've always done me good. So, and again, I'm not going to get into any kind of thing right now, especially while I'm live. So sorry for taking that little dip out there for a second. I apologize. I shouldn't have concentrated on that. I trust you guys. So, anyway, so you got the speed here. And also, let me say one more thing on what I was just talking about. Please don't disrespect my mods either. They work too hard in any kind of modding that they do. It's okay to have a different opinion, okay? But it's not okay to disrespect and get nasty. So that's what I'll say. All right. And that goes for everybody. Nobody's excluded from that. So just remember that, you know. All right. So you can tell how we dipped down to the -6 even here on this data, on the ACE data. And it's essentially the same data. We use ACE as a backup for that solar wind data now, okay? But yeah, so what we're going to do now, we're going to go check out spaceweather.com. Oh, wrong one. That's Space Weather Live. I can't remember. I don't even know what the heck clicked on there. I never go there. I don't know what the heck that was. Oh, that's the other. Yeah, I think that's. I think that might be Ben Davidson's website. Let's go here. This is Tony Phillips. Okay, Dr. Tony Phillips. Go check him out. You know, guys, he does a lot of it. He gives you guys a lot of great information here. Okay, he's even talking about that impact of that filament right there. All right, that filament. Hey, Hilly, what's going on, brother? Hey, Siggy's in that hizzy. What's up, brother? All right, I'm going to keep moving here. Mods, smack me across the face next time I squirrel. Please. Say, wait, just get your head back in it. Anyway, so they're talking about this CME and how it grazed us, right? And this is why we didn't get into geomagnetic storming. Now, let me show you how close we got. We did get up here between a 3 and a 4, but even if we had got to a 5, you wouldn't have noticed much. You would have seen an increase in aurora, maybe some slight disruption somewhere. You know, it just wouldn't have been all that big of a deal. Okay? So, anyway, check out Dr. Tony Phillips over here, guys. Oh, and I want to say something, too. He actually made a good point yesterday. I'm not sure if he's talking about it here yet or not. He could have been. But if you guys have got solar eclipse glasses, go out tomorrow, if you've got clear sky, and go look at the sun with those. You know what you're going to see? You're going to see that sunspot with your naked eye. I did it yesterday. So if you've got the proper glasses to protect your eyes, you can see that's a naked eye sunspot. You can go outside and look at that. You don't have to have any equipment, just the stuff to, block it. So, I mean, it just really is good stuff, It's cool. It's cool things when you guys can do that. The eclipse is coming here in April, and we'll talk more about that as it gets closer. I'm going to do my best to be able to try to live stream it for you guys. There's certain things we can't control in that, such as weather. And April is thunderstorm time. So, hopefully it doesn't work out like that. Here where I live, we're getting full totality for a long time. And all the hotels and everything have been booked up for 6 months. They're telling us it's going to take us 3 hours to drive through town. Yeah. I don't have to worry about that, right? I can just walk outside. How about that? I got lucky, didn't I? I'm going to take you guys with me if I can, though, okay? So that's my goal. I've actually got some stuff on how to do photographs, how to photograph that with your cell phone. Believe it or not, the astrophotography, NASA put out how to do that, how to go look at it for yourself. And, they take in consideration a whole lot of things. They even show you how to use an equatorial mount and be able to eliminate that field rotation that you see, the rotation and all that. So you can get a good, straight, clear picture. It's a really cool thing that they did. Maybe I'll leave a link in here in my description box or something. But it's good information. Anybody wants to try to go check that out themselves. You don't have to have a whole lot of equipment, guys. I'm telling you. You can do it with your cell phone. It actually says that. It was made specifically for that, to teach you how to do that with your cell phone. So, that's the day and that's the day and time we live in, guys. So, but that's what they're talking about over here. This looks like the progression of the sunspots, I think. Oh, this is birds, I think. Yeah, that's birds flying. At certain times of the day, you can actually look at the sun and it doesn't hurt you, if it's got the right amount of atmospheric disruption here. Okay, like clouds and things. He's saying here that they didn't need to use any kind of filter or anything. They were able to see that. That's pretty cool. All those birds flying in front of the sun. Pretty neat stuff. But he also does this down here, and that's why I took you over here today. This is the near-Earth object data collection. So, you guys want to see where some of the meteorites are flying by and how close they are? Come over here and look. They measure it in lunar distance, 0.6. That means it was about halfway the distance between us and the moon. So that meteorite flew between us and the moon if the moon was in the sky at the time. I can't tell you that, but I'm just saying that was roughly about a little over 100,000 miles away from us. That's close when you're talking about space. Now, it wasn't a big one, okay? But come over and check that out. Look at that data collection. It's really cool stuff. So, yeah. All right. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. Okay. All right, guys, if anything else happens, I'll be here, but we're going to keep an eye on those sunspots and see if they erupt some more. I would imagine they will. We're going to see some more things, especially these four. We're going to have to keep an eye on it, okay? So yeah, guys, thanks for stopping in. Thanks, Miss D, for the super chat. Everybody else here, please like, share, subscribe. Share. That's what I can say. It helps me more than you know. So, anyway, guys, God bless. Yahusha saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.